Hey guys, my name is Matimeo, and today I want to take a look at Star Wars Battlefront. It seems like there's a lot of hype, but also a lot of anti-hype surrounding this game, and I want to avoid that entirely. What I want to do today is talk about what the game does well, what are some of its weaknesses, so that you have a better understanding if this is going to be a worthy purchase for you. And so easily, the best quality about Star Wars Battlefront is its graphics and sound. The first time that I jumped onto Endor when I was playing Walker Assault, my jaw dropped. I know how cliche that sounds, like really, Matimeo, your jaw dropped, but look at this, it's gorgeous. The amount of HD textures here is mind-boggling. Not only that, but they also have minute details that really go above and beyond what you see in other first-person shooters. When you're running around on Hoth, for example, snow starts to build up on your character. When you start to take a lot of damage from blasters, you'll start to notice burn marks on the side of your helmet. There'll be scorch marks. When you're running around on Solus and you start to run through some of the puddles, you'll notice mud starts to build up on your legs and on your boots. Everything about this screams detail, and I have to give a big tip of my hat to the art department because they went above and beyond. It's clear that they wanted to make this a true Star Wars experience, and it shows in the graphical department. Where things get a little less rosy, though, is when we take a look at the gameplay. One of the biggest critiques that I've heard is that it's too casual. There's not enough depth there, it's shallow, and the result of that is going to be some lackluster combat. For the most part, you're absolutely right. This is a casual third or first person shooter, and that's what DICE was going for. When I was talking with one of the developers, they flat out said that they did not want this to be a classic first person shooter where you do all of the normal things that you do in something like Call of Duty, Counter-Strike, or Battlefield. In those other first person shooters, you normally have to stop, shoot at the enemy, aim down sight, compensate for recoil, and then take them out. You don't have to go through that process in Star Wars Battlefront. First of all, you can move all over the place and still have the same accuracy as if you were standing still. You can even be flying through the air with a jump pack and your weapon's accuracy is going to be exactly the same as if you were just standing on the ground like every other first-person shooter. They were going for something a little bit more unique, but the result of this is that it is more casual. There is no way of getting around it. They were going for something that anyone that could jump on into and have an enjoyable gameplay experience. One critique I do have to make about the combat, though, is that there is an insane amount of explosive spam. Pretty much all of the star cards or the gadgets that you have available to you have some sort of explosive damage component. There's the 2 grenades, you've got the barrage, which is essentially a grenade launcher, there's the bowcaster, and all of them can one-shot you. If you're good with them and you line it up properly, they can one-shot you right off the bat, and they have a very fast cooldown. It's that combination of high damage and low cooldown which results in some frustrating moments. I have a feeling that when people start to unlock some of these things for the first couple of weeks, there's going to be growing pains, really bad growing pains, because anyone who gets good with the barrage is going to be devastating to the enemy team. DICE has said that they are going to be watching out for this. They do know that this might be a problem, and so in the future they might be nerfing it, but at least right now, this was one of my biggest complaints. As for the maps that we have available to us, they're a lot of fun. I have noticed a couple of spawn issue problems on some of the smaller ones. There have been some moments where I will kill someone, round the corner 5 seconds later, and that same guy will be directly in front of me. It's not game breaking because it doesn't happen very frequently, but it does happen. You should know that it's not a flawless system, but it's way better than what we had during the beta. Let's be honest, the beta, one of the worst qualities about it was that spawn system. It was atrocious, and it looks like DICE has taken that criticism to heart and tightened it up for all of their maps. As for the map variety, while I would say that the ones that we do have, there's a lot of variety. The environmental detail is there, there's a lot of unique gameplay and combat, some nice long range and close quarter combat on every single one of the maps, but where I have an issue is when we get into the larger game modes. So far, and this might change with the upcoming free Battle of Jakku DLC, but right now if you want to play Walker Assault or Supremacy, there are only 4 maps in rotation. For me personally, these are the 2 best game modes in Star Wars Battlefront, and it's a huge disappointment that there's only 4 maps you're going to be able to play on them. Even though I love Endor, it's probably one of my favorite maps in a first-person shooter in a very long time. It's incredible. eventually it's gonna get stale since it's only in a 4-map rotation. For me, this has been the biggest disappointment. Yeah, the combat might be a little bit more casual, but I'm enjoying the combat. Like, I'm loving what Star Wars Battlefront is doing, but only 4 maps is really inexcusable in my eyes, at least for the larger game modes. The smaller ones, there's about 8 to 9. There's plenty of variety there. There's a lot of things going on, and so if you enjoy the more infantry-focused game modes, these are gonna be right up your alley. There's plenty of content, but the fact that there's only 4, it's hard not to be disappointed. On a good note though, this is a very well optimized game. The first time that I saw screenshots and gameplay of Star Wars Battlefront, I assumed only high-end computers would be able to maintain that graphical fidelity and also have that solid frame rate. That doesn't seem to be a problem. I've talked to people that have played on Xbox One, PlayStation 4, people that have low-end computers. I have my own computer. I played on multiple computers, and I've never had a problem with stuttering or frame drop at all, and I've also still had that awesome graphical fidelity. And then finally, while I haven't encountered a lot of bugs in Star Wars Battlefront, the ones that I do are incredibly frustrating. The one that I'm most annoyed by is that for some reason, it seems to be random if your loadout is gonna save. There are times when I'm playing on Walker Assault, I know that I need to have a loadout that takes care of vehicles, I'll get it all set up before the round starts, and then when I actually start to play and try and switch on over to it, it's no longer available. It just doesn't save it. Very frustrating. Another one that gets on my nerves is that when I'm playing by myself, I don't have any friends around, so I can't partner up with them. When I join one of these larger rounds, for some reason, it doesn't part me up with anyone else, and I don't have an option to like join a squad or join some other random person. It really slows down the gameplay. Every time you die when you don't have a partner, you then have to make that very long trudge back from deployment just to get back into the action. When you have to do that every single death, it gets repetitive and it gets boring, and it seems like a pretty big flaw. And while once again, I don't encounter many bugs, the ones that I do really get on my nerve. But overall, I am still having a lot of fun with Star Wars Battlefront, but I realize that it's not going to be for everyone. If you're looking for an amazing mechanical first-person shooter that does something revolutionary, you're not gonna find it here. It also lacks a lot of content. The fact there's only 4 large maps and then they only have 11 primary weapons, I should have mentioned this before, there's only 11 primary guns. That's a pretty big disappointment as well. I'm sure they're going to come in and fix the explosive spam. I'm sure they're gonna fix the bugs that I mentioned, but that's what it is. If you're looking for a really fun Star Wars game, it has it in spades. Like, they absolutely nail the aesthetic, but I know for some people, that may not be enough. And so while I am having a lot of fun, it may not be for everyone. But yeah, guys, that is about it for my review of the multiplayer of Star Wars Battlefront. I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you think about the game. Are you enjoying it as much as I am? Are you disappointed? Let me know down below. But yep, until tomorrow, have a good one and take it easy.